Good morning. Last night I had a good meal and a meeting with one of my colleagues from one of the strongest allies to U.S., Denmark. And a day like this, I think it's sad and totally absurd that we have an American president who's blackmailing the rest of us, trying to get a piece of land or buy it through threats. It's a new low, so to speak. My message today will be that let's stand together. Let's put pressure back on U.S., of course. And this is absolutely, totally not we will never back down. So that's my message. And I will try to see that we all stick together in this issue because, as I said, this is a new low. Yes?
Before we get into the full agenda, just a question about Trump's Peace Council. There are probably many reasons to look through what this council will be.
I have also seen the list of those who will be included. We have functioning institutions, and some work very well. We have the IMF and the World Bank. Then we have the UN, which does not function as well but needs to be reformed. I think working with the institutions we have is fundamentally the right way. Regarding today's discussion on how you should respond to, can potentially respond to the tariffs.
I understand that there are, of course, no decisions today, but what do you expect from the discussion? How do you envision that the EU can respond?
I think the most important thing right now is that we stand together and unite. Even if this threat about increased tariffs does not affect all EU countries, it is important to stand together. So I think we should respond as strongly as possible without, of course, also impacting Swedish companies and Swedish jobs. We will always put Swedish families first, but we have to apply pressure. For me, this isn't really about a trade war. This is about Greenland. It's about the U.S. president wanting Greenland, and then he uses tariffs as a threat, or higher tariffs as a threat to get it. It's such an absurd situation. It's hard to express it any other way, and it's certainly not leadership.
But applying pressure, you say, how are you going to apply this pressure?
That's exactly what's being discussed in full swing right now. This announcement from Trump is quite new, but that we must respond and respond in a precise and strong manner is clear. There are many different tools in the toolbox when it comes to trade policy.
Speaking of tools, the so-called bazooka. Some here in Brussels say that it's not so much about whether it should be used, but rather how it should be used if that's the case. What do you say about that?
It is intended for precisely the situation and perhaps for even more difficult situations. But also in 2023, considering what had happened with the previous Trump administration, I think that decisions should be made that strongly affect the American economy. That's it. We should focus on. This bazooka can be used, but what should be used in it? It's a framework with many different tools. Then we have to agree on which tool should be used.
But you're still open to using it if needed?
I don't think it should be ruled out. We have that tool to be able to use, but it's always loaded. It should only be used when necessary. I hope we won't need to do it now.
Are there any areas that you don't want to be part of the EU's response that could harm the Swedish economy specifically?
I'm thinking there are certain tariffs, for example, on certain goods. We are already affected by them now. We do have tariffs too. It is important to remember. We have tariffs, and several Swedish companies are quite hard hit by them. Even though the Swedish economy is very strong. And it is clear that if those companies face additional tariffs, it will be very tough. There's no luck in that. However, it should still be remembered that the Swedish economy remain stable, it is Trump-proof. And we can also support both companies and families if needed. I think rather the opposite.
Do you feel a great unity among the EU countries on this?
I feel a great unity with my colleagues, my finance minister colleagues. This is indeed a new, low level from the American president. And if we aren't tough and stand together firmly now, what will the next step be? Because now he has been in. It is today exactly 1 year since he gave his inauguration speech. And this year has indeed been turbulent. It has been tough. It has presented us with many challenges. for many Swedish companies and a great many Swedish families and hardworking people.
All tools are on the table, you say. Does that include selling American Treasury bonds, perhaps, in the later stages? But is there, among the tools?
I am thinking about the tools as well. We have done this once before. We created a list last spring with various tools that can be used. Whether to get involved in the Treasury bonds issue or not, I think we should wait on that. But I think all are on the table. It is also part of this negotiation, this discussion to ease pressure on the USA.
Is it a tool, but perhaps much later?
Yes, it is a tool. We'll see where I land on that issue. But it is a tool that can be used if needed.
I see that Sweden is well secured. How about indirect effects? Many of our major trading partners also trade a lot with the USA, and Germany is facing difficulties. Finland is facing difficulties. Now Denmark is also a major trading partner for Sweden. How does it look at the indirect effects? How do you view them?
When I say well secured, I mean that our economy is very strong. We have a low national debt, we have world-class public finances, and we can act based on that. And we are also implementing this budget that has just taken effect. It is indeed an incredible injection, both in households' wallets and in the economy as a whole. So it is a way to kickstart everything. Then, you need to repeat the question. Sorry, Bengt. Yes, indirect effects. Thank you. There are indirect effects also through other countries, like Germany. But I still say, as I did about a year ago, tariffs are not our biggest problem as a country or as an economy. It's bad and it's harmful and it affects businesses, but we have so many other things to address in Europe with productivity improvements and so on. And what is happening now? When I look at the situation with Greenland, which I find so incredibly absurd, it is very little trade policy to me. It's something completely different. It is about power. Here the president is trying to show power and strength. He wants Greenland. So tariffs are used as a tool. It could be something else next time. This is not a trade war in that sense, from my perspective. We are 27 countries, and there are different relationships with the USA from the beginning. But I believe very strongly to stick together as much as possible now. Because the EU is indeed a strong market, if nothing else, with more consumers than the American economy. That itself can, if we stand together, allow us to exert greater pressure. It's quite obvious, I think, in this matter with Greenland that it will be required, and we must dare to think of some other tools, and we must definitely stand together because we don't know what will happen in the next round, so to speak, if more things happen.
Are we tougher against the USA?
I think we have been reasonably tough, but we must also show both in words and in actions a counter-pressure that is felt.
How worried are you that this will affect the Ukraine issue and reduce focus on it?
Yes, I am worried about that. And it is also one of the things I intend to say today, because right now we are all focused. It's like when 5-year-olds play soccer. I have 3 boys who play soccer. Everyone runs after the same ball. Now, of course, I'm not comparing myself and other colleagues to 5-year-old soccer players, but sometimes this can overshadow other things, such as the important Ukraine issue, for example. And today we will make a decision about this loan. So you have to be able to keep many balls in your head simultaneously and play across the whole field when you want to win the match.